Hey everyone, welcome back. If you are watching right now, then you already know, sometimes talent shows give us magic, sometimes they give us goosebumps, and sometimes, well, things go in a direction that nobody expects. Today, we are diving into a moment on Britain's Got Talent that started like a dream and spiraled into one of the most unforgettable and shocking audition moments ever witnessed on live television. Stay tuned, because what begins as pure confidence will soon unfold into confusion, embarrassment, shock, and the kind of raw human emotion that the world only sees when cameras are rolling and millions are watching. This is the story of when an audition goes wrong. Really wrong. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe, tap the like button, and turn on that bell notification so you never miss another deep dive into the unbelievable, the emotional, and the inspiring moments from the world's greatest talent stages. Let's begin. The theater lights glowed as the crowd murmured with excitement. The judges sat ready, pens in hand, poised to watch another hopeful star step onto the stage. The atmosphere was alive with anticipation, the way it always is on Britain's Got Talent when everyone hopes to witness something extraordinary. And then, like a scene from a movie, the stage doors opened. In walked a contestant who carried every bit of the energy you would expect from someone who believed destiny had chosen them for greatness. He walked tall, head high, shoulders back, every step radiated confidence. If looks could tell stories, he said this was his moment, his chance to prove to the world that he deserved the spotlight. He paused center stage, scanning the audience, breathing in the electricity of the moment. The crowd cheered lightly in encouragement. Even the judges smiled with interest. You could feel it, people wanted him to succeed. Simon leaned forward slightly with that familiar mix of curiosity and a quiet test behind his eyes. Amanda offered a warm smile, ready to support another dreamer. Alicia nodded encouragingly, while David, as always, seemed excited for whatever was coming. And then came the introductions. The contestant proudly stated his name, where he was from, and that this was the moment he had waited for all his life. He had dreamed of this stage since childhood. His voice trembled slightly as he spoke, not with fear, but with emotion. He believed this was fate. Simon asked what he was going to do. Singing. A powerful original song, he said, something that would change his life and touch the world. He took a deep breath, and the track began. The crowd grew silent. His eyes closed as he lifted the microphone. And then, silence. Instead of music filling the auditorium, nothing came out. No sound. The contestant tapped his mic, confused. The track clearly wasn't playing. The judges exchanged glances. The tension rose. A sudden glitch. But then the track restarted, and finally, music filled the room. The contestant lifted his chin again, ready to begin. The moment resumed. He opened his mouth, and the first note left his lips. Except, something was wrong. Instead of a powerful, soulful vocal that matched his confidence, the sound was off-key. Sharp. Unstable. The room tensed almost instantly. The judges' expressions froze. The audience members exchanged uncomfortable looks. Was he nervous? Did he start wrong? Surely he would recover soon. He continued singing, but it grew worse. His voice cracked, his pitch slipped, and the song that was meant to lift hearts seemed to crumble with every second. Yet he pushed forward, eyes tight shut, pouring emotion into notes that refused to land. He believed in his performance. The audience wanted to support him, but whispers spread. A gentle cringe rippled across the room. Still, no one buzzed yet. Because this wasn't just bad. It was heartbreaking. You could feel he needed this. Not just wanted it, needed it. His eyes opened mid-verse, looking desperately toward the judges, like he was begging them to feel what he felt, to understand what this meant to him. But then it happened. The first buzzer. Loud, sharp, echoing through the theater. David pressed his button. The contestant flinched but kept singing. Alicia's buzzer followed. The audience gasped quietly. Amanda hesitated, clearly torn between kindness and honesty, but eventually, she pressed her buzzer too. 3 down. Only Simon remained. The song reached its big emotional note. He stretched for it, and his voice cracked so intensely that the audience physically winced. People covered their mouths. A few looked away. It was painful, not because the performance was bad, but because the dream was breaking right there in front of them. And then Simon slowly leaned forward and pressed his buzzer. The red X exploded across the screen. 4 buzzers. The music stopped. Silence. The contestant froze. His microphone lowered slightly. His eyes stared wide and lost, as if he had been punched in the stomach by reality. His breath trembled. And then came the part that nobody expected. Instead of walking off or quietly accepting the verdict, he shook his head and lifted the mic again. No, he said. He could do better. The track was wrong. His voice was just warming up. He requested one more chance. The judges tried to explain gently. Simon held up his hand and spoke calmly, explaining that they had seen enough and that the audition was over. But the contestant wasn't ready to accept it. He insisted. He begged. He argued the sound system had failed him. The crowd shifted uncomfortably. Security at the side of the stage stood on alert, unsure what would happen next. This wasn't anger. It wasn't arrogance. It was desperation. Pure, raw desperation. A lifetime of dreams, thousands of imagined victory speeches, nights spent planning this very moment, suddenly shattered in front of millions. And now, he was clinging to the pieces, refusing to let go. He pleaded with the judges. He insisted he was better than what they heard. Tears began building in his eyes as his voice cracked, not from singing this time, but from heartbreak. Then came Simon's voice again. Calm but firm. He explained that sometimes things do not go the way we plan. Sometimes, life throws us moments that feel cruel. But he encouraged the contestant to keep practicing, to grow, to return better. The contestant's lip trembled. He looked down at the floor. The audience softened. They didn't laugh. They didn't boo. They felt it, because everyone has a moment where they stand in front of life expecting applause and instead receive silence. Their empathy filled the room. And then, slowly, he nodded. He wiped his tears. He whispered thank you. He walked toward the wings, his once confident shoulders now heavy like the weight of disappointment rested squarely on them. The crowd clapped, not because the performance deserved applause, but because the courage it took to stand there, crumble, and still walk off deserved recognition. When he disappeared from the stage, the judges sighed, reflecting on what they just witnessed. It was brutal. It was real. It was human. A moment of pure vulnerability. In the backstage interview area, he couldn't hold back anymore. Tears streamed down his face. He said he wasn't ready for it to be over. He had imagined fireworks, standing ovations, a golden buzzer moment. Instead, he walked away with silence echoing in his chest. But then he said something powerful. Through the pain, I will be back. I will work harder. I will prove myself. Moments like this remind us why talent shows captivate the world. Not just because of success, but because of raw humanity. Because dreams are fragile, and when they crack, we see a truth deeper than talent. We see resilience, heartbreak, pride, humility, and every emotion a human can feel at once. Sometimes the most unforgettable